This Zoom session is being brought to you by the 1-point fractal picture of itself. All right, we're going to be seeing, today we finish off chapter 8. So of course its homework is due. And I'll be opening up the quiz 2 for it. This will be about higher order roots and rational exponents. You start with a cube root, third root of x. This is a 3 and this is the letter R for root. And try and keep this 3 sort of on that little platform there. Don't let it come down in front, because then it's 3 times the square root of x, which is an entirely different thing. Y equals the cube root of x if and only if y cubed equals x. So cube root cubed is x, and the cube root of a cube is x. And you don't have to worry about signs. It's completely fine with signs, unlike the square root. Nth root of x. Y is the nth root of x if and only if y to the nth power is x. So nth root to an nth power is x, and an nth root of an nth power is x. This is okay if n is odd, then it works for in the negative numbers perfectly well. But if n is even, x has to be at least 0. All right, now the same thing applies. Some of the same rules apply for nth roots as they do for square roots. An nth root of a product is a product of nth roots. An nth root of a ratio is a ratio of nth roots. If we have an nth root power factor inside our nth root, you can pull it outside and get a times the nth root of b. And nth root of a over b, we multiply above and below by b to the n minus 1. You get an nth root of b to the n in the denominator, which is just b. And in the numerator, the nth root of a times b to the n minus 1. This is sort of like the rule for square roots, only a little more complicated. Okay. Now we define a 1 over nth power as an nth root. That way, you see, if you take this to an nth power to get a, you get a to the n over n, which is a to the 1, which is a. So reciprocal power is a root. Now, if you have a fractional power, you can think of it as a to the m to the nth root of that, or the nth root of a, that to an nth power. So the m in the numerator means the power, the n in the denominator means the root. You have a negative fraction, that's 1 over a to the m over n, so 1 over nth root of a to the m, or 1 over nth root of a to the m, either way. So, for example, the cube root of 1 over 125. Well, that's the cube root of 1 over the cube root of 125. Cube root of 1 is just 1, and 125 is 5 cubed, so its cube root is 5, so you get 1/5. Here's a 4th root of 256. Now, 256 is 2 to the 8th power, so this is 2 to the 8/4, which is 2 to the 2nd power, or 4. Similarly, a 4th root of m to the 8 is m to the 8/4, or m squared. These are the same problem. You have a 4th root of 16b to the 12th. Okay, we break this into a product of 4th roots. 4th root of 16 times 4th root of b to the 12th. Now, 16 is 2 to the 4th, so its 4th root is 2. B to the 12, 4th root of b to the 12 is b to the 12/4. That's a 3, and so you get 2b to the 3rd power. Excuse me, my screen is acting up again. This happens. Oh dear. It's not, well, so excuse me. Yeah, that's a bit better. It was loose, flickering. Better now. Here we have the 5th root of 32v to the 30th. So 5th root of 32 times the 5th root of v to the 30th. 32 is 2 to the 5th power. Here's a little 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 2 to the 5th power. 128, 250, 64, 128, 256, 5, 12, 10, 24. Anyhow, so 5th root of 2 to the 5th is 2. Here's v to the 30 over 5, which is v to the 6th. So 2v to the 6th. 4 to the 5 halves power. Well, the fifth power of the square root of 4. So that's 2 to the fifth, or once again, 32. Is 1/16 to the 3/4 power. So 1 to the 3/4 over 16 to the 3/4. Any power of 1 is 1. 16 to the 3/4. Well, 16 is, okay, it's cube root of fourth root of 16. 16 is 2 to the fourth, so this inside is a 2. 2 to the third power. 1 over 2 cubed is 1/8. So there that is. Now we have the second, third, fourth, and fifth roots of 32. Okay, for here, square root of 32, we take out the largest square factor, which is 16. Root 16, root 2. This is a 4, so we have 4 root 2. Here we have cube root of 32. You take the largest cube factor of 32, which is 8, 2 cubed, times cube root of 4. So this will be 2 times the cube root of 4. Here, the fourth root of 32, the largest fourth power factor of 32 is 16 times 2. Fourth root of 16 is a 2, so twice the fourth root of 2. And then here, fifth root of 32, well, 32 is the fifth power. These cancel, and you just get 2. Here, this is actually a word problem where the area of a side of a cube is the 2/3 power of the volume. And the volume is 2/16, so what's the area of the side? Well, it's 2/16 to the 2/3 power. 2/16 is 6 to the third power. And that to the 2/3 power means you multiply 3 times 2/3, which is 2. 6 to the second power is 36. That ends this part. Stop recording.